Andrew had a tough time today at City Lights Bookstore with a rude clerk. Telling me this story reminded me of my own version of it. Happened back in the 80s. Okay, get this. A writer I know told me that she had seen copies of Mina Loy's collected poems down at City Lights. On Monday, I walked down on my lunch hour to City Lights in North Beach, but I couldn't find that book anywhere on the shelves. A pair of clerks were watching me somewhat covertly behind the counter, so I approached them with vigor, not suspecting what lay ahead. "Where are the copies of Mina Loy's collected poems?" I asked the less covert of the two. He is a tall Asian man with wispy black sideburns and wore a blue cotton Brooks Brothers shirt. He and his colleague, a mousy, red-headed white man in a sort of smock, stiffened visibly when they heard my question, but did not immediately reply. Something's up, I thought. The vibes were bad, especially when they started snickering like Butch and Spike, the bullies in Our Gang comedies. Clerk number one sobered up quickly enough to say, "I'm sorry, but this is City Lights, not your Castro movie queen collectible mart." I'm no dummy. I could tell they thought I had asked for the poems of Mina Loy, the MGM star of the 30s and 40s. It must have confused everybody who knew these two women back then. As far as I know, and I speak as a man who does happen to know a lot about the stars, Mina Loy never wrote a poem in her life. I had kind of figured this might happen, so I had spent enormous energy pronouncing the name Mina correctly and clearly as the day is long. "Mina, not Myrna," I said thinly. Again, right in my face, laughed these two clerks. They were so rude. Finally, the redhead came forward and suggested a performing arts bookstore he'd heard about. I could tell he was trying to be helpful, that he was somewhat ashamed of himself. Perhaps his horoscope had told him that morning to be nice to a homosexual. But his was not the sort of help I wanted. I explained again in my most winning way my need. The first clerk grew cold, haughty, as if disdainful of the nice guy tactics of his colleague. "We have never, do not now, never will, stock that book," he said, annoyed. Over City Lights, a dark cloud of mutual incomprehension gave the whole place a gloomy pall. Finally, I realized that the more I talked and the more they yelled at me, the more upset I was going to be later. They watched me retreat with hawkish satisfaction. I didn't feel I had come away with much dignity. A few blocks down the street, I glanced over my shoulder at the place of devastation, and I shook my fist at it. I can't believe the ignorance of those two clerks. I wish someone would fire them. So yeah, that happened to me.